Hello and welcome once again. In this video, I'm going to show you a cute, fun project, and it's not very difficult to do. So it's beginner friendly, and it's a very cute small cat, and it's a bit cartoonish, so it doesn't have any complicated, intricate details. So I've started off with the corridor slivers, and I'm turning the wool into a ball, felting it all around, and you have to keep rotating it when you're making a ball. And I'm using my multi-tools to just speed things up, and I'm forming the shape of the head right from the beginning. I'm just using my needle to determine where the eyes are going to be, how the mouth is going to look, so it's easier to build things on if you start right from the beginning. Just do some felting down to shape things up, and they help build up on that. So I know how the face is gonna look. I've sketched it out first, and I'm adding cheeks to it. And if you have a picture right in front of you, you know where you have to add more wool. So I'm looking at my little sketch, and I'm adding more wool because this is going to be a fat, rounded cat, and the body has to be in reference to the head. So once the head is made, you will know what kind of a body you need, the exact size. So I've felted down another ball, and I'm attaching it. Here I'm using a marker to mark the mouth and the nose. And I'm using a watercolor marker. You can use any one because this is going to be covered with the colorful wool anyways. So just to see how it's gonna look, using my fine needle, just tapping down the eye sockets. And now I'm going to make little arms, and don't need too much wool for that. So you just need a rounded thing. I'm using my tool. You can use a pen or end of a brush. So not too much wool because the arms are going to be really tiny, and just roll them over to make a cylinder, and one end of is going to be fluffy and the other end I'm just flattening up because I'm going to make it into a paw. So the arm is rounded, but the palm or the paw is going to be flat. So once it's flat and I've got a rounded arm, I'm going to make two tiny cuts and then just roll the wool over to make a tiny little fingers. No, I think you call them paws. So they just rounded edges to them. You can add these details, or you can just make rounded ones. It's up to you because the whole cat is a cartoonish character, so you don't need to make these details if you don't want to, but this is how you make paws. Just make two cuts and then roll it over with your needle and stab it down. So I've made two of them, and now I'm making a little bigger ones for the feet. I used my crochet and it had a flat surface, and I've rolled wool over it. So this is going to be the leg, and the end of the leg I'm going to round it up with my needle so it looks like a little foot. So the cat's going to be sitting, so the whole cylinder shape is going to be the leg, and one end is fluffy, that's going to be attached. I'm using my pins to attach them, not actually attach them, but just to place them where they're supposed to be, and then I'm going to stab them down. So pins are really useful to know where the limbs, the ears, or the tail are going to be attached. So you keep attaching it, stabbing it down, and then removing the pins you had put in place. So this is a fun and easy project. For the ears, I'm making tiny triangles with the core wool, and I've used a very thin piece of wool because I don't want them to be too chunky, as they're gonna have their color on it as well, and don't want them too big either. Now I'm adding color to it. I've used very light fawn color. I think it was baby alpaca. I'm not sure, but it's a nice fawn color. I'm using dark brown for the nose, and I've just put the chunk of wool on top of the face, and now I'm shaping it. So it's going to be a triangle, and as you can see, the cat is cartoonish and a bit goofy looking, so I've got a big nose. And for the eyes, I'm just rolling some black wool between my fingers, and then I'm going to push it down into the eye sockets that I had made with my needle. So I'm going to cover the whole cat with the same color. You can use any color you want. You can make a gray cat, a white cat with spots. So I'm using darker brown color for the stripes, and just a little bit of wool, place it where you want, and then just stamp it down to make a pattern. Adding color around the eyes as well, not too dark. It's going around. I'm giving it a little shade around the eyes of a slightly darker fawn color. I've got the stripes in place on the face. Now I'm going to give color to the ears. So on one side of the ear, I'm using the darker brown that I used for the stripes. I'm just going to cover the whole triangle and turn it over and fold the edges with my needle to make it neater. And now I'm adding a lighter pink color to the inner side of the ear. Just trying to flatten it out. As you can see, the white parts and the pinks coming out. You can add more brown, and I'm adding more brown color to the inside edge of the ears so it doesn't look untidy and the edges are neater. So I've made 2 ears and I'm going to use my uh, hair straightener to iron them out, and now they're nice and flat. I'm going to use my pins again to place them on the head, and then when I'm happy with the placement, I'm going to stab them down. I'm using more brown wool just to cover uh, the ends where it was attached. I'm putting stripes uh, on the back of the cat. So this is the designed part of it. Stripes go around the arms as well, and covering the paws with brown wool. Now I'm working on the feet and I'm going around with a darker brown color as I'm making circles around the feet, then adding a little bit of pink touch right in the middle. So you can be creative with the colors and make little paws if you want. Just adding the darker font that I used for the shading around the eyes. I'm going to make a circle just around the pink area. These are just little tiny details and they make a lot of difference. So I'm using my finest needle and going around it. For further details, I'm using a tiny strand of dark brown color that I used for the nose, and going down, as you can see, I wanted it to go further down, so I have to cover the rest of the cheek area with the fawn color I used for the background. And now for the tail, I've just taken carded wool, folded the edge to give it a round end, and then keep stabbing it around. Keep rotating and stabbing until you get a firm tail. So this is the easiest part, and the carded wool gets felted really easily. So just determine where to place it, and I'm going to attach it. Just thinking of giving it some round stripes, but then I decided against it. So this is the cat all done, and it's a very cute character. You can add a hat or a little flower or a headband if you please. And I hope you've liked the video and you're going to make your own. Thank you very much for watching.